Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Authentic Worth Publishing, bringing worth back into you through storytelling and book writing. Before I continue, I would like to humbly thank each and every one of those who have recently subscribed to this YouTube channel, and also the emails that we've been receiving regarding writing a book or a novel and wanting to discuss the publishing process. It means so much to us and it keeps us going on the journey to serving and supporting you. So I'm really hoping that all the videos that we provide thus far are benefiting you and helping you on your writing journey. Now, speaking of the theme of this video, I've entitled it Writing is for the Long Haul. I say this because it's very easy to assume that when you've written a book, you would think that it will go excellently well straight away. And I know that most self-published authors or traditional published authors or hybrid authors, they want that quick visibility. But at Authentic Worth, we understand the beauty and the importance of delayed gratification and also celebrating the process rather than just reaching to the destination. As a multi-published author of 9 books, I am a strong advocate of reminding people to not only be authentic, but to be real and honest about the writing journey. There are moments in our lives where we have so many ideas and we think that everything that's in our minds must be written and must be turned into a book. There are some topics that you may have that you are desiring to write about. It could be best in a form of a blog, or it could be best in the form of a short book. But there are some stories that really capture the hearts and the minds of everyday people like you and I. So when you're going through certain seasons of transition, which we all do, we don't want to ignore the fact that life has its challenges. And because life has its challenges, we need to be reminded that the books that we provide and we write provide a solution to the needs of others. And this is why I say that writing is for the long haul. Because of the many people that we are yet to meet, both born and unborn, those we already know and those who we are yet to know, it is very important that we have in mind not only past readers, not only present readers, but future readers as well. The people that may not even get to meet you, that will one day pick up your book and read it and say, wow, I didn't know that he or she was able to endure this. There are other great books that serve a purpose for certain seasons. If you are the person that wants to write a book about things of the past, you have to find a way to bring a solution to the present as well. So if I want to talk about situations of my university at the time when I was studying, and I spoke about the transition of balancing friendships with university and balancing it with driving lessons and finding a job, that is very relatable to our generation now. And a lot of people can relate to that, whether it be the struggles of university, the struggles to make friends with other people, trying to find a job after university, which can be very demanding, which I'm sure a lot of us, particularly those who are still waiting for their jobs after university, will know how demanding and how tiring it can be. But then your book can be a solution of perseverance and endurance. It can talk about what you had to go through while you were waiting for that job to come. And these are books that will provide real life solutions to people. But there are other books that may not even necessarily be real, but focusing on things that don't really matter. It could be a place, it could be a location. It doesn't really give value, but it's only giving what you know. And it's great to provide what you know, but if you don't provide a tangible solution and a way to convince your readers that this book is going to help them, you've already lost readers. And that's why writing is for the long haul. It's not a book that you just write in thin air, or you think about one idea and you assume that this is the one that's going to sell. Writing books take time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of grace. It takes a lot of patience. And you have to be willing to receive the constructive criticism as well when it comes. If someone can sense that your book isn't going to sell well, you need to receive it with humility and also thanksgiving. I know it's hard sometimes to receive constructive criticism, especially when you've put your heart and soul into something, but therefore it's dependent on you knowing your target audience. When you know your target audience, you will know who to work with. With the books that I've written from 2016 till present, I know my target audience very well. And I know that they are people who really want more out of life. And who doesn't want more out of life? Who doesn't want to see themselves blossom and be all that they've been called to be? Or do you want to still stay in the same position because you know you're in a certain season of life where you're not necessarily struggling, but there's nothing else to give back out to the community? One of my dear friends a while back, when we was discussing a certain topic the other day, was speaking about learning how to die empty. Now, when she said this to me, I never really understood and I never really grasped what she meant. But as I'm getting older and wiser, I'm realizing that life is about servitude. Life is about loving other people through your stories, through your circumstances, and bringing them on the journey with you. It's not just about the fame or the wealth or what you've achieved, because once you've got that, you will always want more. But when you think about people who truly are going through a lot, you can humble yourself and say, I've been through that. And maybe perhaps we can both write a story about our situations and help other people. This is what authentic worth stands for. Bringing worth back into you. In other words, bringing value back into you through storytelling and book writing. Why do some people find it really hard to sell? Because they didn't think about the target audience in mind. Why do people tend to give up on the journey? Because they didn't have a strong foundation at the beginning. They thought that writing a book will get me where I need to be. It is not a rich, quick scheme. Writing a book is for the long haul, especially if you're looking to create a career from it and turn it into a proper business. When I started my journey of blogging in 2014, I had no idea that it was going to be turned into a book in 2016. All I knew is that I just needed an outlet to express what I was going through at the time. And that blog helped me, and I'm still using it up till now, which is over 11 years old. So I want to encourage you right now. How is your book going to inspire a future generation? Remember that what you write about is a reflection of who you are. So you need to be mindful that as you're writing your book, as you're sharing your story with the community, as you're learning how to serve people, you have to learn how to serve well. You must serve with humility. This is not about my book being better than someone else's. When it comes to book signings in particular, and someone approaches you and they want to learn more about your book, the first thing that you should do in wisdom is to ask them, how are they? Do you like reading? And if so, what books do you read? And what kind of season are you in? All those questions will help you to navigate what to answer next. But when you see people and they don't buy your books, and then you're forcing them to buy your book because you haven't had a sale, that's when they run away. And we don't want that as authors and creatives. We have to be confident that the story and the book that we have published will automatically attract people to buy. And that's why I'm so happy to say that I will be having my 9th book launch on Saturday, the 19th of July, entitled The Real Stories of Mothers. And this book includes 17 women who are experienced and new mothers talking about what they experienced throughout their pregnancy and motherhood journey. And if you would like to be a part of this book launch, I'll list all the information down in the comment section below for you to sign up and register. Moving on now, I want to encourage you, writing is for the long haul. When you think about where you are right now, ask yourself, what is my book going to do for me in the next 20 years? Yes, we can't think that far. I'm not telling you to just think about 20 years to come, but it starts with one day at a time. So what are you currently doing with the time that you have on your hands? What solutions are you providing for people that need to know your story, that need to know what you've been through? Not to grieve, not to create a self-pity party, but for them to really understand that they too can overcome trials and tribulations. When you start a book, you have to be intentional about finishing it, and that stands for accountability. Accountability is what we need, especially those who have so many ideas, but maybe may not be able to condense it. And I know that I was in a season where I started writing my journey. I had so many points on my mind, but I knew that it would be too much to include in one book. And that's why I was able to spread out all my books up until now. And I encourage you, if you are an author that has many ideas, learn how to break down and brainstorm, because writing is for the long haul, especially if you're looking to serve a wider community other than yourself. You know that life is life in, as they always say. And we also must realize that our books should provide value. It should provide solutions that people need at that set moment in time. And this is the reason why I'm also very mindful of the books that I feed my mind with. Recently, I had a revelation that the books that I read tends to reflect who I am, and it tends to have an impact on how I feel. And it might be the same for you. If you read a book about inspiration, you're more likely to be inspired. If you read a book about horror or things that don't add value to someone's life, you start feeling a bit gloomy or a bit fearful. And fear, when it comes to being an author, does not correlate. There's vulnerability turned into strength, and there's fear whereby you just scare people because you think it's fun. But it's not helping you, and it's definitely not helping them. So be very intentional about the books that you share. Don't allow yourself to just feel forced to write about a topic that you know deep down may not necessarily do well because it doesn't really have any tangible evidence of how it can help someone. Although there are some books, whether it be non-fiction or fiction, it may not feel relevant for the season. They can still sell very well. But it's because those people that sell very well is due to them knowing their target audience. You can't expect someone to find their target audience for you. You have to be the one to do that job. And that is through market research. That is through taking out questionnaires and sending it out to your distributors, your emailing lists. Don't just think that, oh, I've got a book and I expect it to sell. What are you doing with it? Have you got people in your community that can give you advice? With my 9th book, The Real Story of Mothers, I knew I couldn't do it on my own. As a recent mum, I knew that I had to include other people who are further than me in the journey to help me write this book and publish it. So being able to have a community of women that I can learn from has helped me realize not only purpose, but the different kind of solutions that they are giving to their readers. There are upcoming mothers right now who are looking to seek advice and gain wisdom on how to prepare for motherhood. It's a very rich topic. So we understand that books to do with motherhood and support and love is what will sell. And realness and transparency and vulnerability and wisdom, of course. We have to be wise of how much we share. But we know that when we share parts of us that nearly broke us, that's what makes us. Those broken places makes you when you own it, when you share it, and when you turn it into a story. And that's exactly what authentic worth is about. You know what you've been through, you own that pain, and then you turn it into purpose. That is what we are here for. We are not just here for the good times, but we are also here for times when it can be challenging, times when it can be unknown and worrisome. So therefore, the books that we publish can bring hope and strength and faith back into our readers. Those are the books that we desire to see. And I really hope it's the same for you, that writing is a long haul process. It's not just, I've got it, I've got the vision, I'm going to publish it, and then you may wonder why it's not doing well the way you thought it should do. So I want this brief video to encourage you and to remind you to take your time to understand why you're writing your book. We all have a passion. We all have been through things that have shaped us. But the key is to provide real life solutions and solutions that will benefit not only them, but the people who they know. Remember, even though one person buys your book, you don't know who that person knows, and that can take your book to the next level. Never underestimate the power of a few people purchasing your book, for them to tell you how good it is and for them to promote you on your behalf, even when you're not in the room. It's a blessing when you can have people that can talk about you when you're not there, and they are your advocates, and therefore you start getting people connecting with you, contacting you. That is a good sign that your book is doing well, or they want to work with you and they want you to support them. That is such a good feeling. And I want you to be in that season all the time where people can look at you and say, I want to work with you because I believe in your vision. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it has encouraged you and it will continue to inspire you to remember why you're writing your book, knowing that it's also for the long haul, but for a divine purpose to serve the masses and those who are yet to come. If you have any specific topics that you would like me to discuss, As always, leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you also once again to my recent subscribers. You are so welcome on this channel. Until next time, I'll see you in the upcoming video. Take care and all the best with your writing journey. Bye bye.